Hello everyone, I think I am live now. So let me rearrange the, I'm not seeing my sound move. Wait. Have I got any sound? Let's see. Where's my sound? I don't see my sound. Oh yes, that's it, it's moving. Technology. Hi everybody. So today I decided, I haven't done a video response, my God, for so long, or even any meaty videos, but I really stumbled upon this morning Kasha's video about tarot decks that make me curious. And it's really tarot decks that will maybe, there's one card that triggers something in you and you want to look further into it, despite, you know, the books, the reviews, everybody's opinion. You have your own, and it does change the way you look at the card and you want to look deeper into them. So I can see there's people watching. I hope my sound looks okay. I hope it's good. So I'm going to push all that and start in order, as in how it all happened. Because I have all the decks ready for you. Let's see if I have enough space, and I have a huge table, but it's never enough, is it? So, I'll put that here while everybody's arriving. Hey, Shuffle Tarot, Kaleidoscope Tarot, hi, welcome. So, video response today to Kasha, tarot decks that make me curious. Let's see. So I can see, I've been missing your voice. Thank you very much. So here we are. Now, I have to do a bit of background here. I learned tarot in the UK. So I learned with the Rider-Waite. If I'd learned in France, it probably would have been with the more classic Marseille type tarot. But anyway, move the mic a bit there. So I learned with the Rider-Waite, and he never talked to me. I always had to look in the booklet or my notes, or just nothing talked to me. And I don't know, I can't remember actually buying the Aquarian. But I do remember that I preferred the art personally. So that's why I bought it. I thought I give up on the Rider-Waite and I'll move on and try and find one that is more me, right? It's softer, first of all. And, you know, I started learning deeper with it. And then one day I was doing a reading for someone and the chakras happened on the cards. So this is the deck actually that showed me that tarot is not just what's written in a booklet or even sometimes what's on the image. It's a detail, it's an impression, it's a depth, it's a smell. All that can give you some insight into a reading. So this is how it all started. This tarot showed me chakras, as you know, if you've been watching my channel. And I find it hard to use any other chakra decks because the ones that are specifically made for chakras don't talk to me, but this one does. So, you know, this is only my opinion and my experience. It might not be the same for you. But look at just the Lovers card, right? Is it straight? Yeah. Oh, the depth of the card of the male figure is just incredible. Which we normally in decks, we put more depth in a woman figure, and it's always more geared towards women, if they're not classic tarot, obviously, not the Marseille type, but look at how refined, how elegant. It looks like, how they call these birds, les pans. Oh, I forgot now the name in English. The ones that have these huge tails and they show their tails to the female, and you know how peacocks. That's it. It's like a peacock. It's incredible. And look at the colors from his root chakra. He wants some, right? To here, the orange chakra, taking all his emotions, bringing them to the throat. And with the violet here, he wants cosmic love with this woman. Anyway, I could go on each card. There's something about them that talk to me. In a way, I was lucky because it really taught me tarot in a different way. And it made me want to look deeper into the cards and go past the swords, because it's still based on a Rider-Waite, and I still don't agree with all the swords. I do think the 10 of Swords, yes, it's the end, and maybe you'll be overwhelmed with all your thoughts and all your knowledge, but no way you're like that dead on the floor because of air, to me. But it's okay. I can read it differently, but it's still Rider-Waite, heavily Rider-Waite, I mean, Temperance. Oh, you're going into a cosmic knowledge in the cards. So there's so much to say about these cards. They really rock my world. That's my main deck that I use for all type of readings. So after this one, I had another wow moment, because yeah, you can have wow moments, not just with guys, but with your tarot too. And where is it? It's hiding. I've got too many decks on here. Yes, here. The Elemental Tarot. Now, let's push that. There's too much on this table. I was at my teacher's. We had a circle every month. And she said, oh, I've got too many tarot decks. She had about 7, right? She said, I don't really want this one. I don't know what to do with it. And I looked at it and I said, Sue, her name is Sue, I said, I'm not leaving this place until you give me that tarot. I said, what do you want? I give you anything, you know. So I didn't buy it. I just basically made her, hi, Mad Witch, made her give it to me. And I saw, you know, I was already, how can I say, an intermediate beginner at that point. So I thought, this sounds a little bit too much for me, but something about it, I saw the illustration, and so this is how my mind works. I need this deck, right? Because it's not even about the art, especially, or the writing, or the astrology, or everything, the colors, everything that's on it. But what I noticed at first is that it's a, oh, Giselle, hi Giselle, is that the Elemental Tarot that I should have, you know, sometimes there's a delay because obviously English is not my prime language. So sometimes there's a delay in understanding an elemental. I never thought it's because the tarot itself was based on the elements and not swords and cups, but it was water and fire. And all that just made it alive for me. Because, you know, 5 of Cups, well, what does it mean in my everyday life? You know, 5 of Cups, not much. But when I see 5 of water, I know what water is. I bathe with it. I drink it. I go under the rain. I go in the sea. I live the element, right? Yeah, me too. Me too. I have 2 of them. So it introduced me to the elements, and that made me want to look further, as in this hashtag, you know, tarot decks, that made me curious because it made me want to look deeper into it. Now, I can't go into every specific of every card, but just look at that death card. It's like, central. It's like, oh my God, right? Oh, and you have the poem here, which is by Sophia. It was found in Egypt, in urn in Egypt, and the whole poem. There's every time there's one line that was attributed to the major arcana. So it introduced me to ancient poetry. And it says on death, I am the one whom they call life and the one whom you call death. Both sides of the coin. Judgment, you know, it's my favorite card in the deck, Judgment. Judgment it's a card that makes me happy. Now, I know it's not well sought after in the tarot community. I can't put it straight there because my camera is not straight, that's why. But it says here, I'm the one who cries out and I listen. I am the knowledge of my name. This is so much judgment. You know, when I see judgment equals judging, I'm like, no, this is not that at all. This is really, go back to the Christian judgment if you want a reference. This is about your incarnation, this card, and your potential of what you can do. And the hurdles here that you have to get over. And once you get over them, you see the angel wings touch your crown chakra. In the Dark Mansion Tarot. The Judgment card in Dark Mansion Tarot is wonderful. I'll go and check that out. Thanks for that. I don't know that tarot. So and I mean, there's so much, you know, if you want to read astrology, obviously all the elements, the three of air, breeze, and you can see that the wings are in the head, right? It's this wonderful inspiration from the three, and it's not the pierced heart, whatever. And yes, it can have a negative too. And you notice too, there are layers on the cards here, always layers. So you can, and there's deities too. I don't know all of them, and I'm still learning it. I've had it for years, but I'm still learning it. Same, this is air. And this is going through your third eye. It's just wonderful. There you can see you can't walk much here because you have a knife, it seems, going through your leg. If it's a knife, you can see it differently. And you're in a desert, and oh God, you need water here. But you have all this air, and I feel here a little bit of excess of air in a way. But it's like a portal. To me, it's a wonderful deck. Obviously, it's hard to read, like in any. The Dark Mansion is available. Okay. It's hard to read like any other decks. The Lovers here is, yes, it's the Lovers, isn't it? Yes. The poem says, whatever I will happens to me. It's so deep. I mean, and you have here behind this red figure, and I like that. It's like from another word, right? It's that angel, but this is a red angel. It's an earth angel, so you know there's going to be some action with this. But it does say choice and passion, which are both. Love this card too about our cities and our pollution and our dying animals and our crazy weather and you know, people who are struggling to get to the top. This talks so much to me. So anyway, this card, I love it. I got, this is very personal card. I got it about my relationship. So yeah, and to me, this is about a pre-planned meeting with someone. So whether it's pre-planned in this life or in another life or whatever you believe in, but all the different layers, like you come into your incarnation, you've got that angel here that puts you together because you're both in different places, different countries, and he decides that he will meet you, will have you meet here in the middle. It's quite a card. Well, let's move on, right? So I know the elemental tarot. I heard rumors. Oh, okay, shuffle tarot. Okay, good night. I never know when to do it. You know, in the morning it's too early for the US, and then now it's too late for Australia. Well, I always do different times, so I'll see you soon. Thanks for being here. Yes, I heard rumors. Is the elemental tarot going to be reprinted? I don't know. I know the oracle is the sun, moon, sun. Forgot the name just right now. But I don't know. But if you can find a copy, it's quite a deck. So let me move it down there. Make some space. So what have I got next that made me, whoa, in order of what appeared? Yes, this one. The transparent tarot. Now it's hard to show on camera, but I'm going to try to, because that I don't see it often on any channels. And I think it's a shame. So let's see if we can see it through that. Yeah, that would need a little bit of ironing, but you know, there you go. Oh, you got your secondhand. Yeah, you can find them around. Some people have them and just you see, I think you gel to them or you don't, because they're so specific and they've got a lot of astrology in them. So anyway, so Emily Carding, which I had the pleasure to meet in London, we did a session on her deck, and she showed it actually on a, hi Veronica, nice to see you. So I'm doing a hashtag curious tarot. It's tarot decks that make me curious. So yes, met Emily Carding at the tarot conference, or I can't remember if it was 10, 15 years ago. What was the date of that? I don't even know. But anyway, met her then, and she had a light box, and she showed us. Veronica's got the light box. Yeah, she showed us the deck on the light box. So the principle of it is that each card. Yeah, I love Emily. She's an actress. She's playing Shakespeare all over England. I always get mails about her playing somewhere. She's also an actress. So yes, each card is sorry about my hair about is printed on transparent plastic sheet that looks a bit like a slide. Hi, Keith. And the point of it is, in a reading, to layer. Can we see? Yeah, we can see. Wow, normally I can never show them. Layer the cards, and they tell you a story. So that, for example. And after a while, you forget what card is it. Is it the Five of Pentacles? And I don't care. What do I see? Right? I see here this person and that person here, and wings. You can push it if you want. You can make your own picture. That's an angel that came to give the other coin. So it doesn't matter exactly what card it is at the end. I don't even know. It's the Fool. Yes, because you've got the rose here. So that blew my mind, guys. That blew my mind, because every reading is different. You have no cards to learn, really. You just have to let your imagination go. And if you want to read with your imagination, then there's no better place than a deck like this, because every time you're going to get a different set of of cards. So this one brought me a different way to look at cards, as in to make my own stories. And with it, I started to make my own story. If you're a writer, for example, and you're stuck in your writing, pick a couple of cards, put them on top of each other, and look at this person. What is he doing? He reminds me of these people who put rocks on top of each other on the beach, right? And it's got to have the perfect balance, and they're doing big piles of them. So they stand on top of each other. And it's about acquiring the sense of balance, and he's using the tree for this, and the strength of the tree and the roots. So each card can give you different stories. Like here, why is he on the top of the wheels with all the swords, and there's this person here at the bottom with, is it the same person? Is it the outside personality and the inside, the personality inside? It's endless. So it's got quite an extensive book too, with it, which I've actually hardly read because I like it for imagination, storytelling. It's got an oracle too, but the hashtag is tarot, so I didn't get the oracle out. So this showed me to go beyond the picture and to put all the elements together and create my own story. And this is what tarot should be about. So that was another step in my learning. I learned chakras, I learned the elements, and there, in my third tarot, I learned how to put the elements together and create my own story. And also I learned that people who have vision can push further. You see, to me, this is the judgment card for the whole deck. It's pushing your vision, your incarnational vision to the furthest to create something. And that's what she created. She created others, but this one was quite a step forward for me. So I'll get my light box. I made my partner promise me to build me a light box. One day will, one day will. Next, I tried to do it in order of how I discovered them. That's my, well, Veronica, that's no surprise to you. That's my Nicoletta Ceccioli. Now, I have a bit of a mix this one because I have the French box, because I saw the French Edition Exergue brought out a box. Yeah, and it's just beautiful in the box because, you know, it's not the Los Scarabeo flimsy box that there was. So I bought the French one, but I kept the English. I don't like the French printing of it. So I kept the English Los Scarabeo one. And straight away with this deck, I saw, oh, you ordered the French one, right? You'll see it's beautiful. Now, it's got gilded edges. The cardstock is a lot thicker. It's got this luxurious feel. However, I found there's too many writings on it. They didn't keep this, if I remember well. They just wrote every name on it. And to me, I didn't like it as much. So I kept the English version and the French box. Yeah, you need the box, Veronica. It's just wonderful. It's great to have it in that, especially if it's one of your favorites of all time. So I saw this card, and that was that. I had to have this deck because one of my early memories in childhood, you know, when you're in fantasy world, and I remember I was at my aunt's, and it was a bit on the side of the house, so I was not with them exactly in the house. Hi, Spirit Wing, thanks for the nice message. And all of a sudden, I'm on a bed, and I don't know, I'm about, 9, 10 years old, I'm not sure. And I see this huge spider, but would you believe it? It was growing and growing and growing, and it got bigger than me and bigger than the bed, and it filled the whole room. And I screamed, and I got out of the room, and I went to get my aunt, and we came back, and there was no spider at all. And I believe that's one of my first contacts with spirit, because there's no way there could have been such a big spider in that place. And I saw this card, and it reminded me of it. And straight away, I was able to go in a kind of childhood, but my childhood, which was very lonely. I didn't have imaginary friends or anything like that, but just always lost in my thoughts and always, I don't know, imagining things. And there's a creepy side to it, which I like too, because it's not all, teddy bears. I don't like sweet decks. I mean, they're nice, and I want to cuddle them, but I don't want to read with them. But this, it's fantastical. It's crazy. It's very deep. It's your inner child. It can be your childhood. As I said, I have some childhood memories of this. There was also a cartoon. Some of the cards. See if I can. I'm not even on camera. Sorry about that. I had a horse like this, I remember. This reminds me of an animation. It was called Chappie Chapeau. And it was an animation when I was a kid, and it was these two figures, and they were moving cubes around. And I was so happy when I saw this cartoon. So there's a lot of childhood things that you can build on and bring it to now and give it a meaning. It's quite a different, extraordinary deck. If you like the art, the fantastical, but at the same time, if you take a card like this and you think, okay, how, it's all about balance, but you can see the movement, how she built this first. She didn't just, it's not just up like this. She had to build it, and then she had to build steps to go on top. And you can see there's elements that help her. But then there's a knight here that I think is trying to kill them or something. It's just crazy. But, it shows you that, she's perfectly in balance. And then there's elements that are trying to make her imbalanced on this. But she's there and she's holding. And yeah, it's a whole story, all that. So this helped me look into a different part of myself, which was my childhood and my inner child. And I saw that you could actually read tarot for other things than love or events, in general. So it made me want to look more into this deck. I'll try to move on a bit. Like the order of things. I think the Chrysalis Tarot was next, by Holly Sierra and Tony Brooks. Now, this wasn't about the artwork or anything. It's just I'd seen it a few times being talked about, and I was like, yeah, but first of all, that these borders don't do anything for me. But then I heard about the court cards. Now, that's fine. You can be working and listening as long as you're here. It's fine. Yes, first the majors were a bit different, and it was based on elements which more and more, you know, I wanted less swords and cups, and I try to avoid it as much as I can. Now, it doesn't bother me, but I feel more, as I said, the elements. So this was based on the elements. The major arcanas were actually, most of them, people, or, you know, people, real people, or people from fantasy or from stories. There were people. And that helped me it gave me another stone to my storytelling in tarot, because storytelling and imagination is how I read tarot, I believe. So, and then I discovered the court cards, and the court cards are all archetypes. Like here you have one, the mime. And there are people, they take you through their portals, so you can go with them to their portal. And I sound crazy, but you know what I mean. We're tarot people, we understand each other, but I'm not that crazy. But you go with them, and then they take you into their world. So obviously, I'm not there yet where I can have a client in front of me and say, okay, the mind is telling me this or that. I still need to have my time on my own, looking at it and talking to them. And yeah, I'm talking to cards. I think I need a shrink. But anyway, so the court cards was just something so new. And so, because, you know, the Knight of Swords, yeah, well, one of the things that helped me when I was learning tarot was my teacher said, well, just try to assign well-known people to your cards, to your court cards, and that will help you. You know, like, for example, they call Lady Diana the Queen of Hearts at the time. So the Queen of Cups, let's say. And it's true that if you do this, it gives a personality a little bit to your court cards, but I still wasn't satisfied enough with that. But with this system of the chrysalis, because they're guides, they're people who take you into their world and show you. Here, for example, the illusionist, to me, is there to show you your shadow side, your subconscious, to get into your subconscious, and everything you don't see is going to show it to you. And it looks all nice and sweet, and he's got embroidery on him. But, you know, once you go through that gate, you can discover a few things that are more unpleasant too. So this deck showed me how to get into the card and talk to people. That's where I lost it officially and went plain crazy into the tarot world. I don't see any, I hope I'm still live. I don't see any comments. Are you still all here? I hope you are. Yeah, no, Veronica, there's something about it that attracts me, and something, oh, thank you, something that repels me too at the same time with this deck, and I can't quite pinpoint it. I don't like the choice. I think it's because of the choice of the Fool that I don't like it. But the rest, I mean, Matt as Justice, and it's beautiful. Look at that. The art is wonderful. Ariadne as Death, that's right. But especially for me, it shines through the court cards. This is where I discovered, and I wanted to look more into this deck because of the court cards. So let's move on. And for artists, you can see too the cards, there's the original drawing, and then sometimes it was changed. Okay, the sculptor, I keep thinking of selling my copy of this deck. I know I've been into minds about it, but I know there's something in this deck that I need to go further into. There was a Facebook group, it's still there, but it kind of imploded. And It's not a group that I've seen active lately, but there's something in this deck that can really teach you something, and you can go further with it. It's not just, to me, it's not obvious from the start, but especially the court cards. If you're struggling with the court card, this is a great deck to get into it. Okay, next on the list was, the Raven's Prophecy. Now, excuse me, I need to have a drink of water. I'll be right back. Okay. I don't put water by the deck in case, you know what I mean? Just a gesture, grand gesture, and it goes all over the cards. Oh my God, 10 decks in a go. So, Raven's Prophecy. Yeah. What a deck. What a deck. So, this card made me buy it. Not one with ravens at all. I wish I could be more centered for you. I have to move a bit. Yeah, the power of speech. Look at that Queen of Wands. You can't see anything, just her mouth. And this flame coming out. And it's just, when this queen speaks, you listen. And you'd better listen. Because sometimes it can be harsh. Sometimes it can be cutting too. But at the same time, it's powerful. And it's this power that I've been struggling with in my own voice. And, finding your own voice. I always had trouble finding my own voice. And I saw this card and I saw, put it on your altar, just photocopy it, make a t-shirt out of it, anything. But look at this card and get it. You have to get your own inspiration from it, because this is where I want to get at. I find that is so insightful. Yeah, so that made me buy the deck, and it made me want to look further into it. It's very unconventional. Sometimes it's minimalist. Not all the cards are superb. Some are so-so. I love Temperance. It says it all. That's why I like it's the minimal. It's just a little bit of water. Just a drop. The drop of water is so telling. You don't need the angel and 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the earth. Just that is incredible. The shape it makes, just something else. The High Priestess. I don't know. It's like she made pictograms out of it, like, an international language for everybody. You look at the High Priestess and you understand that she's showing you another word. It's the gateway to another word. It's mirrored. Is this word exactly how we see it, or is there another way of looking at it? Type of third eye looking at it way. So it blew my mind. Judgment. The crown on the book. Now, I don't know if you wrote the book or not. Maybe you have. It's the knowledge, and the crown is the aspect of being close to God. So knowledge bringing you close to God, or you are writing about all your breakthrough ideas that are bringing you and other people closer to God. That's a fantastic judgment card too. Not too sure what she says in the book. I have read it, some of it. 7 of Wands. Is the hand protecting the fire here? Or does the person really want to burn his or her hand? And then the events around are saying, or nature says, we can't let that happen, and are bringing rain to soften the burn. But because it's a 7, it wasn't done in one day, this fire. It's not a person that says, okay, I'm going to burn my hand now, or I'm going to protect the fire. What is he doing? We don't know. You have to look with other cards around. I adore this 10 of Wands because it's such a figure of anything, you know, I would hate. Is it a stag in English? The stag's head on, you know, on a mantelpiece is just, to me, it's horror. It's horrible. I don't understand how you can have that in your house. It's to their own taste. I'm not judging anything. It's just not for me. But I love how these little light bulbs are at the end of it. As in, there's life in there. And I don't know, it's just 9 of Swords. Seeing the other side of things. There's just, it's an endless wonder, this deck. And not all, I don't like all the cards, but I like all of them. So this deck showed me that having a different type of image, and especially on the black background, I forgot to mention the black background, which I'd like to see more decks drawn on black, because it seems to make you go deep into the card, it seems to me. Yeah, better if I showed you. So yeah, Raven's Prophecy. I don't know if it's right the way it's based or whatever. I'm at a point where I don't really care what it's based on. But so next one, I still have 4. Bear with me, or come back later if you had enough. Tower of the Spirit. Now, I came late into Tower of the Spirit because the Raven's Prophecy was already out, right? So I don't know, a couple of years, 3 years, time goes fast. It's based on the Tree of Life. So you have this Tree of Life card that you can actually use to put on the cards themselves and see the details of what's underneath if you feel like it. The book is incredible. It's based on, yeah, I marked this here, on sacred geometry, on the Tree of Life. It's a spiritual path deck, right? I don't know if it shows the Tree of Life somewhere. There, yeah. So, and then you go through the elements first. So it's an elemental deck again. With, if you read everything about each card, you end up not knowing what the card means because there's so much in there. So, you know, this is a study deck. This is a deck, this is a reference deck. But there's a card in particular, let me find it, because that's how I get often into a deck. It's this one, the 8 of Wind. Nothing special, as in beauty-wise. You will see that a lot of this tarot is based or on sacred geometry or on flowy type of drawings like this, right? I'm off camera again. Type of flowy or sacred geometry, right? It's really, there's 2 tendencies in this deck. So this 8 of Winds, I don't know if you've ever played a platform game on a PlayStation, but I could see myself being here and then having to jump across these hurdles of swords there that wanted me to fall, and the wind is blowing and is pushing me back, right? And I'm trying to get to this pyramid here. But so I could actually, through playing games when I was younger, I could actually get into this card and do my little platform game. And I straight away got into the deck. Now, not sure what to do with it sometimes because it's quite complex. And my mind is pretty simple. It doesn't like complex things too much. but I'm happily dive into this deck. You have, you know, like the one of Earth. I mean, if you look at form, right? This is a picture. I could have that as I could have that framed in my house, right? Because to me, in a way, it explains scientifically how matter was created. And, you know, I don't say that lightly. It's quite incredible. You can't see everything that's on every image, but you have the book to help you if you got the book, the Tarot of the Spirit, this one. And then you have cards like that, the court cards, for example, or the Sister of Water. So it's based once again on element, which is my favorite. And you can see here on a big turtle. She's riding a turtle, so obviously it's not going fast, right? But then there's a bird here, I think, because sometimes you're not too sure what you can see on the card. I'm not sure if it's a swan here, or I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. Let's see if I can. It's not going to focus. No. Okay. But anyway, it's cards, once again, you can get lost into for hours with the movement, with what's happening there, and learn a lot about sacred geometry, about the tree of life, about movement, color. It's endless. Open channel, look at that. Isn't that just a picture too of when you get in touch with spirit? This is what I would see. Hi, Shadow Moon. This is what I would see when contacting spirit. So I believe it's a mother and daughter, isn't it? I believe they're both really connected to spirit, because some people make spirit decks that aren't connected, but this one, I believe, is a portal, another one to access different dimensions. But when I say this, it's not to, it's not in a sci-fi kind of way. It's to know more about yourself, and it's to get a reading out of it. Obviously, you can do the voyage and travel with it and have a great time. But what's more important is to bring things back and share, really. So this is a meditation deck. So this deck showed me, and that's why I wanted to look more into it, that by looking at the pictures, I could go into a kind of a trance meditation with it and go to these different places. Yeah. Can't believe I'm saying that live. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, they're going to think I'm completely crazy. But if you understand this, we can do that with music. I do that with music, actually. Yes, Veronica. Look at that. That mother of water. Oh my God. It's something else. Yes, I do this on music. Whenever music plays, I feel it through my body and I have to dance. And, you know, I don't care how I dance. And I probably embarrass everybody, but I don't care. That's me. I'm very quiet all the time. So when I let myself go, it goes, right? And this is a way, this deck, this is showing you even the incarnation path with the different lives and the different people going through it, instead of just, you know, the people being buried. Here, to me, it's more all the incarnation that's going on. And if you want maybe information about this incarnation or another, you could use this card as a portal. Or another, you know, it's up to you. You get... and then the sacred geometry. So I'm trying to study it. It's difficult for my mind because my mind is more flowy than square shape. But I believe this too is kind of with sacred geometry. It does send some signals through the shapes in your mind, and it does do something. It does give some information. I don't know how to explain it, but the different layers, it's like kaleidoscopes. I don't know if you were looking at kaleidoscopes when you were a kid. I was. It was one of my first fascination with kaleidoscopes. So there's that with it, this kaleidoscope thing, that you can, all these things get together and bring you to another world. And I really feel that's what these cards are now. They're heavy, as in a sense that you don't just say, oh, well, it's gonna be, my day is gonna be today. You can't just do. I would personally, I can't use them like that. But I can stare at a card for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes and then see what I feel, what the colors tell me, the shapes, and go with it. And it's a crazy interesting deck. I would one day, maybe in my next life, or I need about 10 more lives to understand fully what's all in this deck. But I would love one day to be able to read with it. But right now it's more of a meditation, and I read the book, and it opens my mind to different aspects of geometry and the tree of life, if you want to be intellectual. And then if you want to be more transcendent, then to different portals, into different worlds, and how the universe works. That's how I could summarize it. This looks, if you look at that, I mean, I don't know what it means to you. It can mean many things and many things, different things every time you look at it. But doesn't it look like, if you believe in reincarnation, it's like the incarnation door, right? You're waiting there. You're waiting there to be incarnated, and you have to have all the colors together and all the shapes together in order to go in that tunnel and go, you know, it could be a way in or out, I don't know. But anyway, before they bring the padded white cell, I'll stop on that. Oh my. Right. Now, the Marielle. This is a head scrambler. This is one I have no pleasure using at all, because Veronica, you started it. Because like her and many other people, I don't like the way the cards were assigned, the names. So I trimmed it and I rearranged it, and I made a couple of videos about it, which is part tarot with the major arcanas, and then archangels, angels, and at the end an oracle. Just the extra cards are oracle. They have no name for the moment. I haven't moved on with it because it's deeply frustrating to me. This type of decks where I don't gel with the creator's choice of cards, it's not the art, it's the, you know, is this the magician for me or not? That's what I mean. Usually I sell them because I don't want to waste my time, you know. I used to trim my decks too. This is one of the rare few trimmed ones I have now. But now if they have ugly borders, well, I don't buy it. And that's that. I don't want to spend too much time on it. But this one is a head scramble for me because I can't let it go so far. And I need to make it my own. So to me, this is the judgment card. I don't know if it was the original judgment card because I can't even remember I don't think so, but I can't remember. No, that wasn't the original judgment card. So, well, thanks, Veronica. Yeah, I tried to show my progress with it. So to me, this is judgment. See, that's how I see judgment. You have your whole life here. It's all here. your ups and downs, times that someone helped you, showing you the light, then when you crashed against a wave, then the light came from above and you were fine again, and then when death appeared with the blackbird, and then you've got this temple above there, and it's the temple of knowledge where, you know, all your life is written to me. To me, this is the closest I've seen to my vision of that card. So I had to reassign it, and that's how it started. So I've just put the numbers in gold. Yeah, that's it. So some have nothing, like this one. But they talk to me without even looking at the book, because if I read the book, I'm lost too. It's good for some reference, I suppose. But, you know, you wonder how this unicorn ended up there, right? And I think there's 2 unicorns. I'm not even sure if there's 2, because there's many legs there. But there's a water falling from the mountain here, going through the trees, so it's being filtered. It's being filtered through the trees, right? We know that we can filter water with plants. Unfortunately, because of laziness or business, we filter it with, you know, chemicals. But water can be filtered with plants. So this water is being filtered through the plants, and then, as you can see, the big flow is just going in different ways because we need to distribute it. I'm not too sure how the unicorn, I can see the unicorn just falling onto this well here, and it's just, and thinking, what am I doing here, you know, and then she took the picture, but I think he looks a bit lost to me, but I'm not too sure what he's doing now, but you know. Oh, it's funny. This card is very profound. And I'm not sure, you know, I will keep the tarot just for a few cards. It's still, because I haven't made it fully mine yet. And it's, I don't want to spend, you know, it's been a year already. And I don't want to spend that long on decks because I've got a few decks that I really want to go deep with too. And it's taking away my time from them. But when I see a picture like this with a past that's just made this person ill, and now she's crying crystals like this, so she's crying her enlightenment, if you want. Her inspiration is just going away because she can't be inspired anymore, and it's a shame because look at the beautiful garden behind. So these pictures do tell me a story, but not the way they were built. So I kept the hermit. I think, I'm not sure it was the, no, probably not the original either. No, I don't know. There's one of my angels. All the aces, I've made them as angel, as a element angel, because they are. So I haven't kept them as aces, but this is fire angel. So I've got angels, archangels, which is great, and this is why I want to keep it too. There's darker figures, which is good too, because I don't have dark decks as such. It's not me. A lot of nature. That's a bit crazy. There's one about pollution there too, isn't there? Somewhere. I seem to remember. I think it's this deck, the pollution card. But anyway, another. That's an archangel, Ariel. So I have that connection too through it. Although I'm not a big angel or archangel person, but I do, when in my decks, I do try and resonate with them without buying angels and archangel decks, especially. But through my tarot practice, I try to, like this man here, I try to connect to. There's the Earth Angel. So anyway, yeah. Frustrating, still not there with it, but you know, it's a work in progress. I like it, I like the format now, and I think I might get through with it one day and be completely satisfied with what I've done. But obviously, you know, I admit, because I don't read professionally, I don't always have means to test my decks, so only on me. And I do that on news too, but that's another video. Who's the Marielle? Then the Tildwick Tarot by Neil Lovell. Now that's quite a deck, this, because it's beautifully gilded too. I went back and forth for a long time and thinking it's an expensive deck. It was more expensive, I think, at the time. And I'm not sure I will use it. And you know, when you have many decks, well, I still think, do I really want it? Will I use it? Because I don't want to just buy a deck to buy it. And one day I thought, this summer, was it in June or July? I thought, I'm going to buy it. That's it. It's been on my wish list, but in my head, because I don't have a physical wish list, it's been on my wish list for a while. I'm going to get it. I buy it. I think it was, I can't remember, June, July. No, maybe before. But anyway, at the beginning of this year. And then I see a post. Yeah. I see a post on Facebook saying that, unfortunately, the creator, Neil Lovell, just passed away. I just placed the order. I think it was a couple of days later. I see this post on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, geez. Okay, well, the person reached out. It's a person from his family saying, look, you know, right now we have other things to think about, but if you did order a deck, get in contact with us. We'll see what we can do. And nicely enough, they posted the deck to me not long after. And I always be thankful for that, because, you know, they had other things to do than posting decks to me. So this came with, it's already a spooky deck in a way, right? And this came because at the time that I ordered it, just before he passed away, it feels like it came with his spirit somehow, this deck, to me. And one of the cards that made me buy it is the Devil card. Would you believe this? We all hate it normally, the Devil card, but I saw this Devil card and I thought, yes, he's got it. Because it's dark, but my God, it's beautiful too. And I don't know if you're like me, you know, you've been attracted to bad persons in a way. When I say bad, you know, like we call the bad boy or whatever, you know. And that would be the image of that, is that dark attracts, and this really attracts me. The devil on other cards with the horns doesn't attract me, but this, my God, you know, there's something about it that I'm like, ooh, I want to see what's there, but I can see the mirror. It looks awful. Yeah, I know. We've got the same pathology, Veronica. But this is the first devil I wanted to meet, and I'm like, okay, well, that's cool, because when you look at the devil, it's not outside of you, it's inside, right? So it's not someone that makes you drink or makes you, or whatever. I take drink because I don't like drinking, but you know, whatever. It's inside of you. So by looking at it and actually being attracted by it, it's the way I can work with that devil. And I can't say that about many decks. Most of the other devil, I can't work with them. This one I can. And that's what really made me push the buy it button. So each card, you're into someone's universe. It's like, I don't know if you ever seen, it's an old TV program called Through the Keyhole. It was on British TV, Through the Keyhole. And you'd go into some celebrity's house and you had to guess which celebrity's house was it. And this reminds me of that. It's like, whose house is it? So each card, you look at someone's universe, someone's house. Why are there, is it 7 soldiers? Yeah, 7 soldiers lined up on this box here. And who did that? And, you know, and from that you can get a story. And even in a wallpaper, there's a story. In a wood grain, you get... I'm not sure how it goes for readings. I know how it goes for atmosphere, and I've never read for someone with it. And maybe not all decks are made for reading. Maybe some decks are just made for introspection. You just look at them and you walk into this universe with them, and you don't need to share it or predict anything with it. You just need to be with it. And I think maybe this is one of these decks you just need to be with on your own and soak the atmosphere, and it takes you somewhere. There's all kind of, as you can see, it's not just all fairy wallpaper. I'm off center again. Apologies about this. You have obviously an asylum or prison, and here maybe a hospital where there are deep subjects here. It's like, it reminds me of West Berlin. When I went, I was a young teenager, and the wall and the no-go zone behind it. So yeah, there are some subjects here. And then you've got this beautiful French garden. I think this is a French garden as opposed to English garden. Yeah, I think it is. But anyway, so there's light, dark, and you could read them just with the name, but what a shame, you know. It's how did this Egyptian statue come here? How is this theater come here? And then you can have a whole story with it. So anyway, the Empress is outside. How fitting, you know. The decks for readers, but not necessarily for traditional readings. Yeah, it's a deck for journaling. Yeah, Shadow Moon. This deck is it's a one-off. They're still selling. I mean, the site is still up despite Neil passing away, and I believe they still have some copies of it. And I'm glad I did it, because there's nothing like it. The Emperor, you can see that. I don't know, in the 1900s, you can picture yourself walking into a man's library, or even before, and there it is. All the books and I can't remember in English, but the word sphere. The Pope, you're in a church, so it takes you into different locations. And this has the potential, but I'm not sure yet because it's still fairly new to me. This has the potential to be a life path deck. And you get out of the Pope, lovers, all that names, and you look at what's on a picture, and then you can read the life path for someone, right? Because it's got personal objects, statues, flowers, crosses, windows. And I think it has this potential, and that's why I bought it too. Oh, sorry, I mean, I'm just looking at the pictures. Yeah. You see, if you get a card, let's say there's a young girl, and you get this card for this young girl. I'm going to take the deck away. Just this. And you have to describe a life path. But that would be an interesting exercise, I think, with this deck. Excuse me, I need some more water. Oh, that's better. Because there's something very feminine about this card, but at the same time, there's the scales of justice there. Hey, somewhere in time. I've nearly finished rambling. One more deck, I promise. I don't know how long I've been on, way too long, as usual. But I love sharing. So you could, let's say, for example, the 2 pot of flowers, is it the parents? And you could start with making up the life of someone just by looking at everything. It won't show you in details, but because I've locked it. But if you take all the elements from these, I'm sure you can make up a story of a life of someone and maybe what they do. Would it be a judge? Would it be in law, studying the law? Or maybe with art, flowers? Or maybe in the arts, because there's the mirror. So being on stage, or, you know, and you can build this picture from every card. It's, let's move on. Last deck, I promise, then I'm gone. I'm going to drink about a liter of water. I got this through the Zilish Tarot. I got it not long ago, through a couple of months, through a trade, because I would never have bought it. I didn't want, I love tin decks and all that, but I didn't want another tin deck. I always try to buy decks that bring something different. I don't want 20 Rider-Waite decks. I don't want 20 decks, tin decks. I'm trying to be thoughtful and mindful about what I buy. But there was something about the Zilish Tarot that I always kept an eye on it on Facebook and thinking, well, maybe one day I'll have the occasion, maybe one day. And it's source-based. The keywords are, anyway, because the art is not. And a few cards made me really crack for it, but like that 10 of Wands, that oppression card. There's people screaming in the street. Oh. This 10 of Wands. So now, once again, it's wands, but she didn't actually paint the wands, right? First, the watercolor is just, it's exquisite. And she has all these butterflies here going through her back and all the colors in her past. And she's going into the future like that. It's all gray and dark and not very pleasant. So this actually could be a death card, actually, when you look at it. To me, it says the 10 of Wands, but I'm not too sure. It has this death feel to me. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The Prince of Swords. So there she put a sword, but you can see there's a head here, and there's it looks like a dragon, maybe. Is that a heart? I'm not even sure. Is it masks? It's masks. Yeah, that's it. It's I can see now. It's the prince, and with his sword, he's taking off the masks. Quite interesting. It seems like there's crystals everywhere. Some pictures are just crazy. Now, that's not justice, that's judgment, because there was a mistake in the print. It's judgment, and it's quite I quite like that judgment. It's what's coming out of the trumpet this time is some light, and it goes straight to the crown chakra for enlightenment, because there's part of that, and it's actually the opposite. If you look at the colors, she was gray here, and then she goes into color. It's the opposite of the Ten of Wands, where she was in color and then she goes into black and white. So there's apart from the fact that it's a source-based, which is not my favorite. I find it too negative too. It's not my favorite style, but I don't dislike it. It's just that it's not my style. I love this for this. How he's imprisoned in I can't say that, in his own tower, and his mind is like his own sex now, and he's completely imprisoned in that too. It's very powerful. Now that Hermit made me buy it too. I seldom like the Hermit too, because the old man with white beard, it looks like Santa, and with his, nothing wrong with him, but this is a modern Hermit. I'm not sure even if it's not a woman, but anyway, this is the modern Hermit. This is what the Hermit really looks like, and he's above the mountains there, and with this white shawl like that, and I don't know, it's beautiful image of the Hermit to me. I keep going off center. Then you have the crazy colors too, which I like. Red and violet and orange and yellow. You can read a lot about chakras on here too. The Four of Wands with the ram's head here. This really talked to me, the hands like that. That's really interesting, the hands like that. How they're touching with the index fingers. They're not touching with any other body parts, just the index fingers and the palm of the hands. The flames are red and pink above her, and the yellow, orange above him. So you can tell a lot too from these cards. And if you like the source system, but it's a bit more feminine, maybe the drawing, than because of the water paint, then that's a great little deck. It's really a cross between the source and Tarot of the Spirit, if you want. It's in between them. It's got that strong source thing, and it's got the elevation, lightness from Tarot of the Spirit in it too, I feel. It's a cross between the two. Look at that. That's peace, the Two of Swords. How peaceful is that? Wonderful. So, I've been on way too long. But then it's the holidays, I hope for everybody. So I've had a lot of pleasure showing you this. I wanted to do a French version, but I think that's enough for today for me. Maybe I'll do it another day. I remind you the hashtag. It's hashtag curioustarot. It's from Tarot Map, and it's called Tarot Decks That Make Me Curious. Index fingers pointing and thinking. Yeah, you could think what you want with that. Then it takes you into the world of mudras too, because some people use mudras as meditation. So this is a mudra. So every tarot deck that I have, I hope brings me to this different place. I can't talk anymore, so I loved you having everyone with me here, and I'll see you soon. I still got to do my year reading, and I'd like to show some more of my collection, but I have to go and see how things will go in the next days. But I'm going to do and try and do more lives when I can talk again. So thank you for being here, and I hope to see you very soon. And Veronica, make some videos again. I miss you. Bye-bye.